Imagine waking up every day afraid of your own voice. That's how Arav lived for 17 silent years. He wasn't dumb, just invisible. In classrooms, Arav sat in the back, never raised his hand, never asked questions. He would rather fail an assignment than speak in public, not because he didn't know the answers, but because his own thoughts scared him. What if I stutter? What if they laugh? What if I'm just not enough? He was the kind of boy who existed like a shadow, present but never seen. At home, it wasn't much different. His father, a hardworking tailor, often looked at him with silent disappointment. Arav's younger sister filled the dinner table with laughter and conversation, while Arav sat there, playing the role of a god, waiting, kids, cops, invisible, quiet, waiting for life to pass by so he wouldn't trip over it. One day, everything changed. While picking up a package for his father's shop, Arav saw a crowd near a cafe. A woman was crying near the entrance. Her hands trembled, her phone dead. Beside her, a little boy, maybe 4, crying uncontrollably. People passed by. Some glanced, none stopped. Arav paused, his heart pounded, his mind screamed, think it involved. What if you mess this up? Then, the child looked up, eyes wide, terrified, wanting someone to care. So Arav stepped forward. Are you okay? He asked gently. The woman turned, her eyes filled with panic. My son, he's having an asthma attack. I can't call anyone, my phone's dead. Without hesitation, Arav handed her his phone. He flagged down a rickshaw, helped them inside. As they sped off, the woman shouted, Thank you, you saved my son. And then they vanished into the distance. Arav stood frozen, not in fear, but in disbelief. For the first time in his life, he didn't hide. He acted. He didn't plan it, didn't rehearse. He just became someone brave. And that night, he did something he'd never done. He wrote 3 small words on a scrap of paper. I showed up. And he taped it to his wall, like a seed waiting to be watered. Next day, Arav gave himself a mission. Speak once in class. Just once. He did. It wasn't perfect. His voice cracked. 2 boys snickered, but the teacher smiled. In that moment, that tiny, imperfect attempt planted something inside him. Something new. He had survived his biggest fear. He had spoken up, and the world didn't end. A week later, he made a rule. 1 bold thing, every day. Not something big, just a step outside the shell. He complimented a senior, held the door for a stranger and said, You're welcome. He joined the debate club, not as a speaker, but as the quiet kid who set up the mic and took notes. Still, every time he showed up, and every time, he grew. Then came the school talent show. Arav didn't sing, didn't dance, didn't crack jokes. He walked on stage, heart shaking, palms cold, and he told the story of the sick child, of how, one afternoon, he did something brave. Voice broke, but there was something in him now, something firm. It was belief. Belief in his own value, and that would change everything. When Arav stepped off the stage, the crowd clapped. Not out of politeness, but because they felt it. The raw voice, the truth, the journey. People who never knew his name before approached him with admiration. Arav! That was amazing. Where'd you learn to speak like that? He smiled gently, just one tiny step at a time. What Arav learned is the secret most successful people carry. Confidence is not loudness. It's not born in spotlight. It's forged quietly, in moments when it would be easier to run, but you don't. Every time you face fear, something changes. You get stronger, even if no one claps, because you saw yourself show up, and that's what matters most. Confidence is not magic. It's muscle. And like any muscle, it grows when you use it consistently. It doesn't come from books or quotes. It comes from trying, struggling, learning to believe that your voice, despite the fear, deserves space in this world. To this day, Arav keeps that slip of paper. I showed up. It's old now, wrinkled, faded, but when he sees it, it's louder than any applause. Because it reminds him, you don't have to be fearless, just willing.
Well, you mentioned me and...
You don't have to be perfect, just present. You don't need permission from the world, only from yourself. So show up and let the rest unfold.